when we first began, and they told us that we had to incorporate all this education into this format, I was convinced that it would be impossible to do. I'd never written anything like this before, but nobody had ever written anything like this before. But we tried it anyway. I mean, we were being paid to give it a whirl, so we did. And I almost immediately did a 180-degree turn in my attitude about it. The educational content, the curriculum, instead of being a millstone around our neck, was really a backbone, a spinal column that we could build the show around. No longer, as a comedy writer, were you starting with that terrible blank piece of paper in the typewriter. You were starting now with something that you could build a comedy bit around, and it was a tremendous help. I'll never again do another television show that doesn't have some informational content in it, because I'm lazy.
I get a big kick out of playing the opposite type of character in Oscar.
Listen, it's fun to be a grouch.
And it really is actually fun to be a grouch. I've at first had no idea how to play this character when Henson proposed it back in '69, and I was rather scared. I had just joined Muppets, and I didn't have any deep bass voice to come up with, but a taxi cab driver said,
"Where to, Mac?"
that was on the way to the rehearsal, and it was just in time. And since I have gotten to play Oscar, and Oscar is, to me, not always a likable character. He's a bit of my alter ego, and he's easy to play because I know what his taste is. It's generally the opposite of what I feel and what I believe. And I don't like messes and trash. And as a matter of fact, at times I wondered that I could even do a decent job, because for early years I always felt that I wouldn't walk across the street to speak to this character, and why anybody would bother is beyond me.
Well, I think as many of us who work on the show as you would ask that question to, what barriers did Sesame Street break, you'd get as many different answers. My own answers relate to the very beginning of Sesame Street, when it first went on the air. It broke two very important barriers. One was there was a cast of 4, and 2 of the 4 were black. This was in 1969. We very, very much take for granted the black shows on television now. But at that time, there were none. It was a really revolutionary concept to turn on your television show and see a cast that was heavily integrated to the point where half them were black and half white. The second thing was the departure from the traditional children's show setting. Every children's show, really, ever, always was a cute little tree house or a club in the backyard or Captain Kangaroo's treasure house. It was always something fairyland and fanciful and wonderful. We had struggled with the idea of the setting, the home base for this, for a long time. And when it came into focus for me, and I saw a commercial for the Urban Coalition, I believe it was Urban Coalition, about send your kid to a ghetto this summer. And it was shot on location in Harlem, out on the sidewalk on the front stoops of the brownstone. And as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly where we ought to be on this. Because to the 3-year-old who's cooped up in the room upstairs, the action is on the street. That's where the big kids are. That's where they're playing. They're jumping rope. They're running up and down, and that noise and everything else. And so what I wanted was not just an exterior of a brownstone in a urban, rundown neighborhood, but I wanted a totally realistic set, not a television set, not canvas on flats that would blow when you turned the air conditioning on and you'd see it was fake. This is a movie set. It might as well be shot on location. It is so solid. In fact, when we first did the brownstone, we built the front steps out of wood because it was cheaper and the normal way to do it. And when people ran up and down, you'd hear their heels hitting the wood and you'd say, no, that doesn't sound right. And we had the steps cast in concrete. The stagehands love us for it every time they have to load them in and out. And they're heavy as can be, but the sound is right. It's a real street and a real building, and to the millions of children who watch, it's a real neighborhood. When they come to visit the studio, they can't believe that Sesame Street is inside another building.
Okay, so this is Dominique, and she is Alphabet Bates's driver. She's also a lavender two-hand puppet, and I'm going to take their eyes off. and make her into another character. This is our eye bank. There's lots of different characters, so eyes in here. And the noses are over here. So Nobel Price has these kind of eyes. And it's all just double-faced tape inside, and we just stick them right on. Okay, I should start with his nose. It's very, very carefully pinned so it stays on. I'll just pin it like that now. Usually there's 3 or 4 pins. And then this wig comes off. It's sort of like playing Mr. Potato Head, like when you were a kid, you know? And then he gets these eyes. Whoops. So he's about like that now. He gets glasses, too. We have a whole big drawer of glasses here and sunglasses. These are Nobel Prizes. And that also gets pinned in. Then, this wig is down here. That all gets pinned on. And also, has eyebrows. Oops, now wait a second. And all that gets pinned on and stabilized so it doesn't fall off. See, so the arms are like this so that they can be made to be live. And the camera cuts off right there, so it looks like he's got moving hands.
The voice is coming back at you. Hello, hello! And you just do the stunned response, and then we won't have to get into the problem of changes of audio levels between the recorded and the live. And we'll go out like that.
Or maybe we shouldn't say the last. The melodies we say, hello, ba 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 ba, and then the other
And then ba 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 ba, yeah. And then yeah!
Yeah, all right,
And
so
then
we
out.
won't do the last.
Which side am I go off now?
Now you're going to be over. You're fine.
Are you rolling? Okay. Yes, we're ready. Take one. Take one. Here we go.
Hello. 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 How are you? Hola. Hi. Happy to meet you. So nice to greet you. No need to be shy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Now won't you stay a while? We're glad to know you and hope to show you things to make you smile.
It's so easy to be friends, much easier than you know. Just turn to the person next to you and say hello, hello, hello!
Hello, hello, hello.
you we say in a very special way. To all of you we